It's another sleeveless Thursday and another opportunity for a Michigan Monarch sweep, this time over the Muskegon Clippers. Hi friends, and welcome to Adrian, Michigan for the third and final game of the series. Alongside Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorowitz, bringing you all the action for the first place Michigan Monarchs. Folks, the Narcs have won 7 of 8, including the past 2, and you know what that means. The boys are losing the sleeves, they're going corn-fed, and the energy is high. Alex, a chance for a second straight sweep at home. How about that?
What a second half of the season it's been for the Monarchs, winning 7 out of the last 8, Jake, like you said. The most impressive thing to me, Jake, is that the pressure is on. The season starts now. And when the pressure's been on, the Monarchs have risen to the occasion, something that is not easy to do. The squad is firing on all cylinders. Jake, can't wait for this one.
It should be a good one. There's no doubt about that. And you said this squad is firing on all cylinders, looking to start a new win streak. They've done so in this series against Muskegon. A two-game win streak that the team is on right now. And taking a page back last night, Nick Powers was a stud last game and all season.
He was. The Monarchs are sure going to miss him. 9 All-Stars. He is one of them going to the All-Star game. But no worries. They had Michigan State last night. We got Michigan tonight. We got 3 Michigan pitchers on the bump. So the Monarchs did lose a big arm, but they have a plethora of solid talent on the bump.
You said it. Nick Powers had a stellar outing last night. 3 innings. He shut the door, closed, only gave up 2 hits, 1 run, but 6 strikeouts to only 1 walk. So a phenomenal way to end his summer campaign. As you also mentioned, he has that 1 inning left to pitch at the All-Star game that will be coached by the Monarchs head skipper, Ben Kamenowski. He gets that honor as the Monarchs lead the North Division. But you also alluded to the Michigan pitchers that the home team has on the bump tonight, starting with Ahmad Harajli. He's looking for a good start here in his 3rd outing in a Monarch uniform. He's another all-star, as is Jalen Jones and Ryan Zimmer, a couple names we'll see as well. But going forward, Alex, and in this game, it's Game 3. You've already taken the series. You've guaranteed the win there, at least 2 out of 3. But there's no time for complacency.
No, there sure isn't. Because when you're at the top, the hardest thing to do is stay at the top. You have a big target on your back now that the Monarchs have the best record in the league by 2 games at 15-10.
16.
Check that, 16-10. Wow, I'm underestimating the Narcs. But, Jake, like you said, this is the time of the season where it really adds up and you can't fall asleep. Because once you fall asleep, you can drop 2-3 games and you're not at first anymore. This league, I've mentioned, is like the SEC in football where they kind of beat up on each other. So you can't sleep. You got to take advantage of moments. And the Monarchs have done that time in and time out. So a huge opportunity to take the sweep and extend that record to 17-10 be huge.
Yes, the Monarchs are in first place, but they have multiple teams to hold off, not only in the North Division, but elsewhere in the South. But beginning with the Monarchs' own side of the league, Jetbox and Sandusky are still right there in the mix. Jetbox didn't play last night. They got their game against Lima canceled, but the Ice Haulers dropped a big one, moving to 14-12. So the Monarchs have a game and a half up on Jetbox, 2 games up on the Ice Haulers, but there's no time to rest. And then moving over to the South, Xenia is now in first. They've taken over the first place spot, taking over for the Hamilton Joes, and then there's a 3-team tie for second, couple 14-12 records. How about that?
So that pretty much sums up what we're saying. There's literally no time to take off for the Monarchs. If you do, you'll just lose 2 games, 3 games, and then you're like that, you're out of the order. So this is a big opportunity for the Monarchs to really stay out ahead and stamp themselves in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and this might be the time of year to get a little greedy and start thinking about home field advantage. I know that that's definitely on our minds going forward through the last stretch of the regular season. Well, we're just 5 minutes away from first pitch. An hour earlier tonight, the first pitch time got moved up from 7:05 to 6:05, so we hope that you caught that notice on our Michigan Monarchs Twitter page and that you're going to stick with us throughout this one tonight. Should be a good one. Alongside Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorowitz. We'll be right back after the national anthem here in Adrian, Michigan on Parents Recognition Night. We're back here on the campus of Siena Heights University at the Joseph K. McLaughlin Baseball Stadium with Alex Maxwell. I'm Jake Gorwitz on the call for tonight's Michigan Monarchs baseball game. It's the third game of a 3-game series against the Muskegon Clippers. And Alex, the Monarchs are looking to bring out the brooms once again for the second straight Thursday.
Once again, Jake, we talked about it in our pregame show. What an opportunity to extend this lead they have in the league. 17-10 is the goal. Let's get to 17-10 tonight with a sweep, a clean sweep. And what a better night to do it. Not a better night to do it. With the Michigan guys on the bump, starting with Ahmad Harajli, who tops out at 99, they say.
99, certainly bringing the heat. He's just the first member of a trio of maize and blue arms that we'll most likely see tonight, continuing with Jalen Jones and Ryan Zimmer. But folks, you might notice this time last week, the boys went sleeveless. Well, same story this evening. That's what head coach Ben Kamenowski said to the guys. You win the first 2 games of the series. That game 2 has been a pivotal one and a tough one so far this season for the Monarchs, but you take the first 2. You earn the right to cut off the sleeves, go corn-fed, and the energy is high. As we said in the pregame show, we saw Henry Brown pumping out some curls in the dugout with some dumbbells. How about that?
Yeah, you got to love the energy. This is really what summer ball is all about. Getting better, but also having a fun time, an experience to remember for a long time. And definitely you can say that the Monarchs are having an experience like that this season, to say the least. So the boys are ready. They're fired up. Sleeveless once again, Jake, like you said. And it worked out last time. Sure did. So we're hoping for another sweep. Could you imagine a clean sweep, sleeveless, first place in the division? How does that sound? It sounds pretty nice to me. Ben Kamenowski's pumped up. We're pumped up. Hope you all listening at home are pumped up too.
It did indeed work out pretty darn well for these same Narcs last Thursday. It was an 11-5 win over the Lima Locos to secure the sweep of that North Division foe. And looking for another one tonight.
Here we go. The key for Harajli is, can he fill up the zone? It's not a matter of velocity or his stuff being not good enough. It's all about, can he throw strikes? So, big if here tonight.
First pitch of the game goes for a ball. Ahmad Harajli facing Q Phillips, moved up as the leadoff man tonight. That one's fouled away. 81 degrees here in Adrian, Michigan. Feels like 84, though. The humidity has been a roll. No doubt about that. Fastball high, Alex. You said it. It's not about the speed. It's not about the velocity. It's all about the location.
Yep. And if he does that, everything will work out just fine. And his defense will really step up behind him. We've seen a fantastic effort all along from each of the Monarchs throughout the outfield and infield.
Harajli walks Phillips. Clippers have its first base runner aboard. That'll bring up A.J. Miranda, one of 3 Muskegon All-Stars. It's A.J. Miranda, Trent Nielsen, and Jacob Anderson. Fastball high to start off Miranda's at-bat. Count 1-0.
Boy, it looks like Harajli might be throwing the hardest we've seen him all summer, Jake. The warm summer nights really loosens up the arm. Looks like he's maybe topping high 90s here.
Well, that's nothing new for a guy like
Yeah.
Ahmad Harajli. That's what we've been seeing all summer, but I would agree with you that he's certainly pumping it in the early going. The 2-0 is cranked foul by Miranda. Count 2-1.
And don't think that just because Harajli throws high 90s and he goes to Michigan that the Clippers are going to be intimidated at all. These are good hitters that they're facing. So something to be aware of is that these guys aren't going to back down, to say the least.
A.J. Miranda gets a piece of that one. It's a dribbler foul down the third baseline. Count even, 2 apiece. But Miranda, a rising senior, right down the road at Adrian College, originally from Okemos, Michigan. Wouldn't be surprised if he's playing in front of some friends and family tonight.
Yep. Adrian is a fantastic D3 school, baseball-wise.
That one gets in between the legs of the catcher Overitis, and Phillips swipes second.
Definitely the start that the Clippers were looking for. Didn't even need to get a hit to get on second base. Nobody out still.
The teams have split so far this series in terms of scoring first. In the series opener, it was the Clippers that opened the scoring. And last night, it was the Monarchs in both of the first 2 innings. Check swing there, didn't go. Now Miranda is on first with a base on balls.
See, everything just becomes a little more difficult when you can't really find the zone. Everyone just tenses up a little bit. And things just don't go smoothly, really, in any way. But still, no harm. Nothing really to worry about. Harajli just needs to trust his arm and fill up the zone.
Henry Brown playing in on the hot corner. First pitch, fastball outside to Colin Cornwell, the designated hitter tonight. We saw him in left field and leading off last night, and he returns to his original position in the order in the 3-hole where he began the series. That pitch is low. Count 2-0. Still nobody out. Top of the first here. Q Phillips walked, as did A.J. Miranda.
See, the Clippers really don't piece him up or have any solid contact when Harajli can find the zone. We've seen it from the strikes he's thrown. No contact, really, has been made solid-wise. Still no hits, and there's 2 runners on. Kind of a strange start so far.
Harajli takes a few looks at Phillips at second. Cornwell will step out, call time. Off speed, stays high, count 3-1. Now on the Saginaw Valley State outfielder. Alex, we see some kind of dark clouds straight ahead above center field.
Yeah.
And over there a little bit in left. Not seeing any rain or anything in the forecast. Full count now, but hopefully it all stays dry. It certainly didn't yesterday.
It's given the impression that we might get a few showers, but seems to be good so far. But there you have it. Harajli, swing and miss on Cornwell to make it 3-2. All he needs to do is fill it up, and he'll be just fine.
Payoff pitch low, and Harajli has walked the bases loaded.
So this changes the approach now for the Clippers, that we've seen the bases loaded on walks. So what's the first thing you should do? Maybe look for a strike. Don't just go up there swinging blindly. And a good move from Overitis, the catcher, to go have a chat with Harajli, to go and discuss things, talk things over. Really kind of calm him down, try to get his rhythm. And not only that, but he's just trying to buy time. Sometimes a pitcher just needs a reset button. And it looks like Harajli might, there you go, a little fist bump. Still nobody out. Hitless. You know, this is why throwing strikes is so crucial. Is because when you can throw strikes, it at least gives your defense a chance to make plays and get outs. There you go, just like that.
First pitch strike to Trent Nielsen, one of the league leaders in RBIs. He's the team leader. Came into this series with 23 of them. Sends that to Keto. The underhand flip to Fitzharris and the throw over to first for the 6-4-3 double play, but that'll score one.
Just like that, Jake. Harajli fills up the zone. A run scores, yes. But it gives your defense the chance to turn it up the middle and get two down. Just like that. It changes the complete aspect of this inning. Is now, getting out with only one run would be, I'd say, a mini victory to start off this game.
For the second straight at bat, Harajli finds the strike zone on pitch one. That time to Jacob Anderson, so we have Wolverines on Spartans here. Count 0-2 quickly. Fastball fired into the zone. Anderson, a rising sophomore at Michigan State. Call third strike. Down goes Jacob Anderson, and Harajli escapes some big-time trouble.
Definitely. He's happy at the moment, but he's overall disappointed that he even gave up a run because he knows that this stuff is so dominant, as we saw there. That pitch outside was nearly unhittable. Upper 90s outside, perfectly placed. How do you hit that? It's excellent so far from Harajli as a solid bounce back to a slow start.
Harajli walked the bases loaded, but got himself a ground ball to Joe Keto that started the 6-4-3 double play, and then the strikeout looking there to the Big Ten rival.
That was a mini victory, Jake, though. Mini victory. That was bases loaded, nobody out, and you only give up one run? I'll take that. Obviously, you don't want to have any runs at any moment, but considering the circumstances, that was really one of the best case scenarios that you could have asked for. Throw us a double play. Keto and Fitzharris twisted it beautifully up the middle. So now that Harajli has found the zone later in the inning, it will be interesting to see if that momentum can transfer to inning number 2. And if the Monarchs can help him out and get a run early to even it up at 1.
Harajli pitched last Thursday, as we said previously, against Lima. He went 1-2-3 in the first and then found himself in a bit of a jam in the second and the third. Gave up a few hits and a few walks. But in the second and third, he still managed to strike out 4. So he has that swing and miss stuff. He has those pitches that make batters look foolish,
right,
and get them looking. So maybe we'll see, instead of a fast start and then moving to a bit of a slow couple innings, perhaps we'll see the slow start move into a bit of a groove for Harajli.
Yeah, that's more common with pitchers, that they start off a little slow, and pitch by pitch they find themselves more comfortable in their own rhythm, in their own zone. And Harajli throws upper 90s, his ball moves. So if he can really just put it over the plate, he'll have absolutely no trouble.
Leading off for the Monarchs is Reese Longstaff. He'll face the right-hander Paxton Miller, wearing number 44 for the Clippers. Longstaff attacks the first pitch, rips it foul over the Monarchs' dugout. Longstaff, the league leader in average, batting .376. And obviously he's headed to the All-Star game next week.
Jake, you mentioned his average .376. He's definitely threatening for league MVP, you might add, as we hit this part of the season where things really start to heat up.
Count 2-1 here on Reese Longstaff. He's one of 9 Monarchs headed to the Cincinnati area just in a few days, actually.
Yep.
All-Star game is next Tuesday, the 14th, I believe.
Yep.
12th.
Midsummer. Yeah. Sounds right. Usually it's in mid-July.
Little Midsummer Classic.
Yeah, Midsummer Classic. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
2-2, swing and a miss for the first out of the bottom of the first.
Really nice pitch there from Paxton Miller, pounding that outside part of the plate, especially with that off-speed pitch. That's really difficult for a hitter to go out there and reach when the ball is moving at that rate. Excellent start for Miller.
First pitch outside to Joe Quito.
Looks like Joe Quito has some tape, medical tape on his wrist or his forearm. We'll see if that's nursing any injuries.
He skies that one to center field. Coming in to make the play is Phillips, and there's 2 down.
That was the start the Monarchs were looking for, a quick 1-2, but the Clippers said, anything you can do, I can do better. A hot start so far for Paxton Miller on the bump.
Paxton Miller, a rising junior at the University of Mary, a small school in North Dakota, just under 4,000 students enrolled. And Miller is from Bismarck, North Dakota.
Some low-key good baseball out there in that part of the country. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of good ball players everywhere.
Well, we know about the football at North Dakota State.
Yep. And the hockey.
And the hockey at North Dakota. Trey Lance, Carson Wentz coming from NDSU.
South Dakota State also has some good hoops as well.
Christian Watson, the wide receiver, drafted
yeah.
to the Green Bay Packers in this most recent NFL draft.
Yeah, a lot of good athletes out there. Miller, one of them.
0-2, drops it in the zone. Tyler Nelson goes down looking, and Paxton Miller off to a hot 1-2-3 start.
Exactly what the Clippers were looking for, what the doctor ordered. And just like that, what do you know? Miller's filling up the zone. He's giving himself a chance to be successful. And his off-speed was absolutely brilliant, striking out not one, but 2 of the Monarchs hitters, Longstaff and Nelson. And Harajli looking to carry that momentum he had in the end of the inning to this inning. And Jake, we say it, his ball moves so much, his off-speed is so sharp. If he can just point his spots, man, he would be a prospect in professional baseball. 100%. The fact that his ball is it moves so much and he throws so hard, and his size. There's so many things that scouts look for, and he really has all of them. So if he can really work on his command, that's something that scouts will eat up all day long and absolutely want him on their team.
Harajli is actually in the transfer portal along with Jalen Jones, potentially on their way out of the University of Michigan. We're still uncertain on the status of Ryan Zimmer, but for now, we know that Harajli and Jones are in the portal. Obviously, they have the option to come back. I think that's not uncommon to see when there's a head coaching change, as there was at Michigan with the head coach Bakich going to Clemson, and then the Wolverines just hired the former coach from Arizona State, coming over from the West Coast. So we'll see where Harajli continues his collegiate career.
There's a chance that he stays in Ann Arbor as well. The transfer portal being very lenient.
First pitch to Cole Brennan, a fastball low. But we should also tell you that Ahmad Harajli at some point this summer will be making his way out to the Cape Cod League as he blows the fastball by Brennan. So we're not sure exactly how long we'll have Harajli, but talk about scouts and getting looks and the raw talent that Harajli is. Only a rising junior, so has a few years of eligibility left.
Plus the COVID year as well.
So he'll certainly continue to get looks on the Cape. Count 2-2 now on Brennan.
You saw here in this at-bat with Brennan, if he can put it there, Brennan's having a tough time catching up to it. And it's also intimidating when you have a guy that's 6'5", throwing 90s, high 90s. It's not very fun to face.
As Brennan goes down swinging there for the first out in the top of the second.
Excellent start here so far for Harajli. We were talking just a few minutes ago, will he carry this momentum from last inning to now? He has so far. Excellent bounce back.
First pitch is sent into center field. Coming in to make the catch is Tyler Nelson. 2 outs in the top of the second.
A nice piece there from Logan Heilich. Seeing what he liked from Ahmad Harajli, first pitch. But, hey, if you're Harajli, that's 2 up, 2 down. He's feasting so far. Just got to find the zone. I like that he threw that first pitch off speed there. Shows you the confidence he has.
He goes back to the fastball for the first pitch. Sends it high and inside on Logan Todd, playing shortstop tonight. He was at second last night for the Clippers. And he's ahead early, count 2-0.
Jake, an interesting little note. It looked like Harajli was slow in the first inning, his tempo. But in the second inning, it looks like he's speeding things up a little bit. Oh, that ball did not hit Logan Todd. It looked like it could have bounced up and hit him in the calf, but he stays in the box. Yeah, the tempo has really changed for Harajli. That was one of the quickest at-bats we've seen him have this year. It'll be it. So the first inning was too slow. The second inning right here is really fast. Let's see what he sticks with going forward, finding his rhythm, which is really all a pitcher needs to do.
First pitch strike to the 9-hitter, Stoney Smith, in right field. He led off in Game 1 of this series and was the DH in that game. That one is flied into center field. Under it is Nelson for the third out. Score stays 1-0. The Clippers are still hitless, but they're on the board. Monarchs looking to get back into this one here in the early going. We'll be right back. Back with you here on the campus of Siena Heights University. I'm Jake Gorwitz. He's Alex Maxwell. Clippers have an early 1-0 lead. Both teams still hitless, but the starter for Muskegon, Paxton Clipper, struck out 2 of 3 batters faced in the bottom of the first, and now he'll go up against the designated hitter, Hayden Yatzak. Yatzak lines that back into the netting. Count 0-1.
Yatzak having a solid season and a solid series. Went deep in the first game.
Won the Monarchs the game.
Yep.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 7th, solo shot into left field to give his team the 4-3 lead, and then shut it all down in the 8th and 9th on the mound. A dual threat player, Yatzak is. He pokes that one into left field. Charging in is Brennan to make the sliding catch.
Not an easy catch there from Cole Brennan out there and left. But once again, give credit to the man on the bump. Paxton Miller for the Clippers. Staying efficient so far. His pitch count is limited. And he's been cruising so far for the Monarchs. Still hitless, the Monarchs are.
Sam Bush, left side. Going over to first is Paxton Miller. I know, Alex, you are mighty impressed by that PFP.
Whoa, that was a beautiful play. As it looks like it took a little deflection off of the first baseman glove, Nelson. So Anderson had a tough play to deal with, and Miller had to get over there. Man, I have so much to say, it's hard to speak. My goodness, that's something you love to see. The coach is ear to ear over there for the Clippers. You practice that over and over. Nice play from the infield.
2 outs. Miller helping out the defense behind him. Count 0-1 now on Henry Brown. But Alex, I said PFP. Explain to everyone what exactly that means.
Pitcher's fielding practice. That's something that pitchers work on all the time, so that little things like that don't get messed up. So when the ball is hit to the right side of the infield, the pitcher has to cover so that they can get the out like they did just there. So an excellent job so far from the right-handed side of the Clippers infield.
He kind of jams Henry Brown there through the left side, off of the tip of the glove maybe of the shortstop Logan Todd, but nonetheless Henry Brown is on at first.
Yeah. If I'm a generous scorekeeper, I'd give that a hit to Henry Brown. Not one of his finer hits, but nonetheless he's on board.
Nothing like the 2-run bomb that he sent into left field last night.
No, not quite. But, hey, he's strong enough to where he can muscle that. That was literally on his hands, and he muscled that, over to shortstop, and shows you the strength he has. And how about this? Dresselhaus, the kid out of high school, going sleeveless. I like it. I like the vibe the Monarchs are bringing off as a unit.
Dresselhaus matching the big dogs. This is his second series in a Monarchs uniform. Joined the team last weekend in the away series against Jetbox. So his first homestand here wearing the Monarchs pinstripes.
He's hit the ground running so far. He hasn't missed a beat. And he belongs in this lineup 100%.
He singled in his first 2 home at-bats in Game 1 of the series. A good eye there. Count 2-1. Henry Brown on first, 2 outs. Monarchs still scoreless. They trail by 1.
Brown really not known for his speed, but getting a healthy lead over there at first as he's shaken up a little bit. Looks like that ball might have hit him. Off the pickoff move. Gives the thumbs up, though, to the field umpire.
Tonight's umpires are Bill Harbert and Edward Marks. Marks actually was an official in Game 1 of this series, so he's quite familiar with these two sides. 2-1 fastball high. Count 3-1 on the high school national champion.
Big hitters count here for the newcomer in Dressel House. It's got to be right there in his wheelhouse. There it is. Yep. Ball 4.
I see what you did there. Little wheelhouse on Dressel House.
Yeah, yeah. That was unintentional, you might have to add, but I'll take it.
Come on, take credit for it.
Hey, I'm a humble guy.
You're too kind. 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Monarchs. That'll bring up Tyler Overitis, one of the newest members of the West Virginia State baseball program. Just announced his commitment in late June, moving over from Western Michigan University. Fastball outside. Count 1-0. Overitis not an everyday player for the Monarchs. This is the first time we've seen him in this series because of the 3-headed monster that the Monarchs have at the catcher position. But he has earned himself a couple turns at the DH.
Absolutely.
spot.
We've seen glimpses of big success from Overitis. He had a few multi-hit games. He's got a lot of power.
Had a 4-hit game.
Yeah, a lot of power coming out of the left-handed box.
He pulls that one to the right side. An easy play for Anderson to retire the side. 1-0, still the score going to the bottom of the third. Monarchs leave 2 on the base paths. And Ahmad Harajli will come out to continue what he got going in the top of the second. Welcome back, everyone, to the Joseph K. McLaughlin Baseball Stadium here in Adrian, Michigan. To my right in the booth is Alex Maxwell. I'm Jake Gorwitz on the call for tonight's Michigan Monarchs home game. The last game of this 3-game set between the Monarchs and the visiting Muskegon Clippers. Monarchs going for the second straight sweep here at home. They swept the Locos last week in a big series, took 2 out of 3 over the weekend at Jetbox and find themselves atop the entire GLSEL going into this one tonight. Harajli back on the bump for a third inning of work. 3 innings, 3 complete innings, I should say, is the farthest into a game Harajli has gone. And only 2 appearances in the Monarchs uniform. A swing and a miss there from the leadoff hitter Q Phillips. Back to the top of the lineup for Muskegon.
And what a difference it's been for Harajli since he started throwing strikes again. Really makes it easier on himself. as he's found his rhythm.
Fastball low and inside around the ankles of Phillips. Here's the 1-2. Off speed outside, count even, 2 apiece. 1-0 Muskegon leads. Swing and a miss. Down goes Phillips for the first out of the top of the third.
That's what Harajli brings. High heat. Phillips had no chance there to chase that upper 90s fastball that Harajli brings. We talked about the difference, Jake, when you throw strikes. Makes things a whole lot easier.
That brings up the future All-Star next week, A.J. Miranda, and it hit him on the left elbow.
Ooh, not a guy you want to get hit by. But still no harm for Harajli. He's been cruising the last 6 or 7 batters, you could say. A big difference from the last 2 innings and the first one, which you like to see. And you see that foul ball way late. So the Clippers really need to make an adjustment to either choke up or get back in the box.
Colin Cornwell drew the 3rd consecutive walk in the top of the first to load the bases.
Looks like it might have been a balk there from Harajli.
Bit of a hesitation on the throw over.
You can't twitch or make any awkward motions as Harajli is making his case. But Jake, you said it best. It was a hesitation. And it looked a little awkward. We both saw that. And it looks like Miranda now has second base with 1 out.
That pitch is just outside, above the belt to Cornwell. Came into this series hitting just above 320. He's a threat to steal bags too.
Nice pitch there from Ahmad, painting that outside corner. That's nearly unhittable, Jake. I mean, that thing moved, and that's tough to reach out there. And I'm not sure how Cornwell's going to do that if they decide to go back there.
He brought that fastball a little bit more inside.
Yeah,
Doesn't find the zone.
It looked like Overitis and Harajli weren't on the same page there. That looked like it was a strike, but Overitis caught it in kind of an awkward fashion. Something that's hard in summer ball, to have good chemistry with your pitcher and catcher.
Two, left side. Miranda on his way. The throw from Keto to Brown gets the lead runner.
Heads up baseball, like always, from Joe Keto. Miranda kicking himself. Not really sure why he decided to go there. Would have been wise to stay put, but nonetheless, a good play from the Monarchs to secure that second out. And how about that? The Monarchs shut that down, and the threat has been avoided. Excellent defense.
Count 1-0 on Trent Nielsen. Harajli will take a moment to retie his shoe. But you mentioned avoid a big-time threat, getting Miranda out at third. So Cornwell now on first after the fielder's choice, 6-5. There's 2 outs.
Oh, no. Oh, that hurts a lot. That ball, oh, man, got Nielsen on the wrist. That could be dangerous. He is really in pain. I would be wise to take his time on that one. That you see players in the major leagues out for months with injuries like that. That got him right on the hand or the wrist or something in that area. And he's a tough guy, but 6'4", 225, but he's still feeling that one for sure.
And that's an all-star starter. Hit and run to the right side. Sliding is Fitzharris for the third out, but Trent Nielsen definitely still feeling that one as he walks slowly off the field.
It'd be wise.
That's one of your top hitters.
Yeah, it'd be wise to maybe take an extra look at that and see if he's good enough, feels good enough to stay in the game. Because that's an injury right there that could really, really screw things up. But he seems to be okay. But how about that? Another 1-2-3 inning, or not 1-2-3, scoreless inning for Ahmad Harajli, putting up 2 straight zeros. And it's time for the Monarchs offense to wake up and give him the support he needs.
1-0 still the score going to the bottom of the third. Harajli has had 2 straight impressive bounce-back frames after walking the bases loaded in the first inning of the game. But still only 1 hit for the home team. That was a Henry Brown single through the left side.
Haven't really seen a much solid contact, really, at all from the Monarchs. Even hard outs, you could say. But we're going to get there. We got Fitzharris and then Top.
And credit to Paxton Miller, so far shutting down one of the best lineups in the whole Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League.
The best, statistically. I mean, number 1 in the league. So, the Monarchs are on top right now, and Paxton really doesn't care at all. And that's ignorance that a pitcher needs to have. I don't care who you are. I'm doing me, and I'm going to give my stuff, and I'm going to give it my best. And Miller's done that so far, and he's done it well.
Last Thursday, it took the Monarchs a second time to see the pitcher before they got in a groove, and a big groove that was with a 10-run bottom of the third. Just like tonight, it was Fitzharris that led off that inning, and then it handed over the keys to Longstaff, Keto, Nelson, going with a very similar lineup this Thursday. Fitzharris squares to bunt there, but couldn't put it in play.
Really, all good hitters need is information. And the more information they have, what Miller's throwing, that second time around, third time around, that's when they'll really start to get things going. So Longstaff, Nelson, Bush, and Henry Brown are definitely going to look to time him up and kind of understand what Paxton Miller's throwing and really pounce on it. And wouldn't be surprised if in those innings we see runs kind of tally on the board.
Oh, 1 swung on, sent to center field. Moving 3 steps to his left is Phillips, and Fitzharris is retired.
Nothing wrong with that. That's probably the first hard shot we've seen tonight for the Monarchs. A nice shot to center field. But this guy, Reese Longstaff, is known for hitting it hard, and we'd like to see him bounce back from his first at-bat being a strikeout. So here we go.
Takes the first pitch, low and outside, count 1-0. Longstaff was 3 for 4 last night with 3 singles, one of them being an impressive infield single that he beat out. Count 2-0.
Good chance for Longstaff to find a pitch he likes and give it a ride. It's got to be in his wheelhouse.
thought about that one. You
Yeah.
saw a bit of a twitch in his approach, but ultimately held off. Just a bit inside, I think, for his
Yeah.
liking.
Good pitch there from Miller, not giving him anything to swing at. And you see that second pitch in a row, Miller's ball really has a lot of running movement on it. Moves in on the hands of a righty, which Longstaff is, so makes it a little more tricky to hit, a ball that moves, as the count is now at 3-1.
3-1 left side, bobbled it, and Longstaff is on first.
Jake, I'm not sure, even if he made it clean, that he would have made the throw to get him in time, because Longstaff is so fast, but nonetheless, the Monarchs are going to be okay with that as he's on base. And here we got Joe Quito, another guy that puts together many quality at-bats.
I agree with you, though. It was a well-placed ball by Longstaff as he's on the move to second, but he'll halt his progress as Cole Brennan comes in to make the catch on Joe Quito. But where that grounder went, for one thing, it was a hot shot by Longstaff, and it had Miranda ranging to his left. And by the time it made the glove of Miranda, Longstaff was already halfway down first base.
Yeah. Completely agree. And we saw Longstaff trying to swipe second there. He's got a really healthy lead over there at first. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a throw down anytime.
Count 1-0 on Tyler Nelson. Reese Longstaff still on first. And there's the throw over.
Yep. I think one of the most underrated aspects of base running is too many times guys get small leads. And there, Longstaff is definitely not one of those guys. Sporting a big lead and a big secondary. And that's why he's able to steal so many bases to go along with his A1 speed.
Count moves to 2-0 on Tyler Nelson with 2 outs. Paxton Miller got both Fitzharris and Quito to fly out. That gets in between the 5-hole of the catcher Heilich, and Longstaff is on second standing up.
The Clippers cannot afford to do that tonight, especially with Longstaff on the bases. Really, that changes this at-bat from Nelson. It makes it an opportunity for him to tie it up with now a runner in scoring position. Heilich's got to be a wall back there all night because the Monarchs are aggressive.
Nelson likes his RBIs.
Oh, yeah.
We all know about that. Tied for 5th league-wide with 21 of them. But this time he'll draw a walk.
Just like that, the inning has changed. 2 outs. Now you got your power hitter up in Hayden Yatzak with men in scoring position. And we've seen it over and over. The Monarchs seem to string together runs with 2 outs. They've been doing that all season, especially this series against Muskegon.
Hayden Yatzak takes a fastball inside. So now we'll have a mound meeting on the Clippers side. It's pitching coach Dion Felger heading out to have a chat with Paxton Miller.
Yeah.
Along with the catcher Heilich.
I think that's a smart move as we've seen Miller kind of lose his rhythm, throwing too many balls for the liking of his head coach.
Talked about the 2-out offense that we saw last night. We saw a lot of it. Henry Brown had the 2-out double to right field, and then he had the 2-run dinger late in the game for a couple insurance runs, both with 2 outs.
Good teams find a way.
Hayden Yatzak rips that one into center field, but unfortunately it goes straight to Q Phillips for the 3rd out. And once again, the Monarchs leave 2 on board. We go to the top of the 4th, score still 1-0. Not as much offense as we saw last night. Muskegon will look to extend its lead when we come back. Getting set for the top of the 4th here in Adrian, Michigan. Monarchs trail the Muskegon Clippers 1-0. Ahmad Harajli comes back out for a 4th frame of work for the Monarchs. This is the deepest he's gone into a game so far this year, Alex.
Yep. And he's been doing just fine. Really finding his rhythm as we hit the 4th inning.
And a first pitch strike there.
Night and day start from Ahmad Harajli. Didn't start off so hot, but look at him now. He's cruising. 0-2, painting the outside corner. Clippers really haven't put together a hit yet. And, Harajli's been cruising.
Swing and a miss there from Cole Brennan, and he goes down swing for the 2nd time tonight. No hits still for Muskegon. It's been a combination of walks hit by pitches, believe it or not. A couple of them so far through 3 1/3.
Yeah,
then a balk advanced A.J. Miranda, but only 1 run up on the board still.
Yeah, this goes back to what we said in the pregame show. The key for Ahmad is just fill up the zone, and what we're saying is coming true. Just his stuff will take care of it. His pitches will take care of itself. His defense will support him. And everything has come to fruition so far.
Swing and miss stuff right there from Ahmad Harajli, this time on Logan Heilich. A rising junior at Davenport University, where the Monarchs pitching coach hails from. Davenport, that is. Previously, before that, at Jackson Community College for some JUCO ball. Mm-hmm. That's Alex Lord, the Monarchs pitching coach. Count 2-1 now on Heilich. Make that 2-2 after the off speed is chased after.
Still Heilich unable to make contact with any of the pitches Harajli's thrown at him. Any solid contact, that might be. And it looks like Jake, he likes to be fast in the windup. You see his motion is very quick. His rhythm is his tempo rather, is really starting to speed up. And that's working to his advantage.
Fastball high. Brings the count full. 3-2 on Logan Heilich. Tempo has gradually increased for Harajli as he goes back to work. Missed his spot there.
Just missed. That's the right call, I believe. That off-speed pitch has been working all night. Just a case of a little inside. I don't think Heilich really could have done anything with that pitch. That was filthy. But just a tad inside.
Runner on for Muskegon. Still one out. That'll bring up Logan Todd, the shortstop. Lays down a bunt right back to Harajli, and a heads-up play there to get the lead runner at second.
Ooh, that play looked pretty close.
That was a bang-bang play.
Pretty bang-bang. But that's a great play from Harajli to cut the runner down at second, thinking ahead. And that's something you have to do on defense, especially in the fielding aspect. You always have to think ahead. 2 steps, 3 steps. What are you going to do with the ball if it comes to you? And Harajli did just that as we got 2 down. Had to stop there for a ball that came in from the bullpen. It's happened over and over this year.
You usually see that. We're probably approaching once a game.
Yeah.
That's why they call them warm-up pitches.
Yeah.
Getting loose in the Monarchs bullpen is Ryan Zimmer. He's usually the middleman between Ahmad Harajli and Jalen Jones on Michigan Thursdays, as we like to call them. That one is pushed into right field to Longstaff for the 3rd out. Another solid frame from Ahmad Harajli.
Yeah, he's been cruising ever since that first inning. 3 straight scoreless innings for Harajli on the bump. And really hasn't done any harm to his defense. He's all the harm's been kind of self-harm. Walks, hit by pitch, really not having things under control. But things are definitely under control with Harajli on the bump. I'd like to see him go out for one more.
I was just about to say that.
He's been dealing. Still no hits for Muskegon. And really not many. I can't recall any solid at-bats or contact from Muskegon. I think Harajli's just been too dominant for him so far. And it makes sense because his fastball, his off-speed, and his changeup all working. And he does a good job of mixing it up. He doesn't throw the same pitch every time, nor does he throw it in the same spot. He does a good job of mixing up his fastballs, eye level, his curveball as well. And Overitis likes to mix up in and out. But mixing it up and throwing 99 really doesn't help if you're a hitter.
Alex, just looking at the scoreboard made me think about this game, right? Muskegon has the 1-0 lead, but still no hits. And earlier in this MLB season, the Reds threw 8 no-hit frames, but lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates 1-0.
You're kidding.
So I would assume that we won't see that tonight, but just looking at the 1-0 score, yet a no-hitter going, just made me think about that score.
That's an excellent tidbit on your part. I mean, that is unfortunate because the offense literally fell asleep at the wheel. I mean, that's brutal.
Can you imagine?
No, I don't.
8 innings of no baseball, but you lose 1-0.
1-0. Are we British now, or what's going on?
Might be.
Yeah.
Anything goes on Sleeveless Thursday.
That's right.
Guys are sleeveless. We're scoring soccer here.
Scoring soccer, yeah. Well, that's things. The approach is different when you're in first place in the league. You have room for being goofy and having a blast, as we like to say.
Not too much room if Jetboxer Sandusky has anything to say about it, though.
Very confident, but not arrogant and hungry, this Monarchs team has. And the thing I really like is that there seems to be a collective buy-in from all the players. It's not just 2 or 3 guys that really want to win. It's the whole team. And it really takes a team to win. And we've seen that this year. Credit that to the coaching staff. And the management from all.
Count 1-2 on the MSU Spartan Sam Bush. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Monarchs still trail by 1, but have yet to give up a hit. That's a hot shot into right field. Sam Bush is on board with a single.
Hot shot indeed. I would have loved to have known the exit velocity off that pitch. My goodness, that was outside, but Sam Bush found a way to muscle that through to the right-handed side. You could really hear him barrel that up. Excellent piece of hitting there from Sam Bush. I like to see him kind of come down to earth, not just hit home runs. Get some singles, get some doubles under your belt, Sam. Good piece of hitting there from 2-4.
Henry Brown, steps back in as Sam Bush makes his way to second on the pass ball, but Henry Brown had that 2-run shot to tie Sam Bush's home run total at 4. They're both tied with a variety of GLSEL players with 4 home runs, tied for second, that is, but could start maybe comparing this duo back-to-back in the lineup between Judge and Stanton.
Oh, get back. Oh. That was a little bit of a generous call. It looked like the Clippers might have got Sam Bush at second. It was a bang-bang play, but Henry Brown, back-to-back hard-hit balls for the Monarchs. Now we're starting to see the ball roll in their direction. This is good stuff to see. And now the Monarchs are starting to find the rhythm at the plate.
With Jake Dresselhaus up to bat, and he attacks the first pitch, but pinching second base was the second baseman Anderson, so he was in position to make that play, but over to third goes Sam Bush.
Another hard hit ball from Dresselhaus. But like you said, that was a nice play there from Anderson. Another Sparty.
Future teammates there in East Lansing.
Yep.
Tyler Overitis golfs that one into center field, but an easy play for the center fielder Phillips to end the 4th inning. So once again, Alex, the Monarchs have a man on. He gets all the way over to third, but no runs across.
Yeah, but that's 4 good at-bats, hitting the ball hard this inning. So you see the ball is starting to roll their way. They're starting to get their groove down. And Jake, I saw a fist bump from you. You're happy that Ahmad Harajli is back on the bump. So am I. And so are we. So are all the Monarchs. I'm sure that we all want to see more of him. And why not? He's been lighting up the zone. He's been lights out. And this has been one of the best performances all year from any Monarchs pitcher at any night. So Harajli is having himself a night, and definitely, if you're definitely that tape you want to send to coaches, if he's since he's in the portal.
And definitely the momentum that you want to start building up before you go out east to play in the Cape Cod League, as well as making a positive case for himself in the transfer portal if that is the direction that he ultimately decides to go. But you mentioned it, one of the more impressive outings so far in all of the Monarchs rotation so far this year, joining the names of Nick Powers, Kevin Corti, Keaton Ballard has been on one lately, his Michigan teammate Jalen Jones.
Yeah, you see why these guys are playing such high-level baseball. Michigan is big-time baseball, folks. They were in the College World Series a few years ago, and they were threatening this year to go back to Omaha. So this is big-time baseball all around us. Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana State, So there's good ball players in this league all around us.
Back to the top of the lineup for Muskegon with Q Phillips to lead off the top of the fifth. Clippers still hitless, but lead the game 1-0. First pitch strike to Phillips. This is the beginning of the third time Ahmad Harajli will face this Clippers lineup. This is definitely the portion of the game that we would expect the Monarchs offense to get going, and we saw them threatening in their most recent at-bats. But that one is sliced into left field, and rounding first is Phillips making a play at second, and the throw is not in time.
Excellent at-bat there from Phillips. What do you do with a pitch that's coming in red hot? You take it the opposite way. And that's the second time this series we've seen Phillips go hard out of the box and take second base. Aggressive baseball from your leadoff hitter, and that's exactly what you want out of him. And a respectable hit so far. The only hit for the Clippers.
Phillips went 2 for 3 last night and drew a walk to go along with a single and a double. And a aggressive base running approach right out of the box, as you said. That one is hit deep into left field. Going back is Dresselhaus looking up at the wall.
Ooh,
and a tough play.
No.
Dresselhaus collides with that left field wall.
Oh, goodness.
Stopping at third is A.J. Miranda, but we hope that Dresselhaus is okay. We'll step aside here at Siena Heights University as Jake Dresselhaus is tended to in left field. a very scary play out in left field as Jake Dresselhaus was running full speed and collided with the wall. We obviously hope that all is well with Jake. It's great to see him walk off of the diamond, but a scary play nonetheless.
Yeah, he had a tough read off of that as the sun was in his eyes. He couldn't really track it, so he made a good effort to get back to the wall, and he knew that the ball was over his head, and he was full sprint back, and it was a full dead-on sprint into the plywood at left field. And it was not a good collision, to say the least. But like you said, Jake, it's good that he's up and well and walking around. We definitely hope all is well.
So the Clippers do score a run on that triple by A.J. Miranda. The score is now 2-0. Muskegon leads. Ahmad Harajli still on the bump after a few warm-up pitches, and Seth Gurgley enters the game now in left field.
And this can be a little bit of a distraction, for the Monarchs. A little bit of a,
an unexpected battle, I would say.
Yeah. Adversity, if you want to say.
It's tough to see your teammate, one of your newest teammates. In fact, he is your newest teammate joining the team just this past weekend. It's tough to see one of your guys take a hard hit and fall like that.
Yeah.
It really it can mess with you.
It can, and the good news is he is walking around. He walked off on his own terms. We did not need to see a gator or a stretcher, which was really fortunate. But it's like a good pitch there from Harajli. He wanted that, and we wanted that up in the booth.
That definitely looked like a well-placed pitch, but count moves to 2-2 on Colin Cornwell. A.J. Miranda on third. Still no outs. Hit to the left side, down the line. Miranda will score. And a big look at second by Cornwell, but he'll stay at first, an RBI single.
All hits tonight from the Clippers have been to the left side of the infield. A solid adjustment they've made behind the plate. Really trying to fight it off and not try and pull it. It's okay to take that pitch to the opposite field, as we do see a pitching change now. Harajli's night is done. But give credit to the Clippers. We talked about the Monarchs timing up the pitcher Paxton Miller on their second at-bat, third at-bat. But the Clippers have done that on Harajli, their second time around, third time around. They knew what he was throwing. They didn't have any fear. And they took it to him. 3 hits, 3 runs, and they deserve every ounce of success that's fallen their way. 3-0 Clippers, and they deserve it.
And perhaps that is the one downside with throwing absolute heat, is when contact is made.
Oh, yeah.
It's going far, and it's going hard.
The exit velo is really going to be raised. Probably, more than we've seen off of other guys this season. So, yeah, credit to the Clippers. I know it's disappointing and you like to see, but those aren't cheap hits. Those aren't balls that the Monarchs are misplaying. They deserve it, Jake. They really do. Best at-bats we've seen from them all series by far. And I think that's due to, the velocity, like you said. The harder you throw, the harder they're going to hit it. And that's one of the downsides of throwing hard, is guys can really, once they time you up, they can take you for a ride.
Replacing Harajli is Ryan Zimmer, the second member of the University of Michigan trio. Similar to Harajli, a rising junior right-hander from St. Clair, Michigan. He's appeared in 3 games, all out of the bullpen this summer for the Monarchs. Has a 3.11 ERA through 8 2/3.
Yep.
And what you do like to see from Zimmer, 11 strikeouts to 4 walks.
Yeah, we like to see that a lot. And much like Harajli, all he needs to do is fill up the zone. But that's a big if, because the Monarchs have struggled with that all season. And their defense has been fine. But the Clippers not timid whatsoever at the plate, as they've switched their approach in the 5th inning here, scoring 2 runs, still nobody down.
First pitch of the game by Zimmer is called a strike on Trent Nielsen, another guy that it's great to see him still in the game. Took a hard hit by pitch on the wrist as the throw over gets away into foul territory, and from first to second goes Colin Cornwell.
Just a little bit of a mental error from Zimmer. Sometimes it's hard for pitchers to throw the ball everywhere but the plate. You know what I mean? It's they have so much adrenaline and they're so focused at throwing the ball at home as hard as they can that they have a tough time throwing it to the bases, whether that be on a ground ball or a pickoff move, and we saw that there.
Oh, 1 blew it past Nielsen. Count 0-2 with Cornwell on second, but Nielsen, one of the 3 All-Stars, he loves his RBIs and he comes from an athletic family. 0-2 down the right foul line, and it stays fair. That'll score a run, and Nielsen is on first.
Once again, the Clippers aren't afraid to go to the opposite field. Excellent piece of hitting there from Trent Nielsen to shoot the heat the other way. I give credit to the Clippers. I'm not saying that the Monarchs aren't pitching well. The Clippers are piecing together quality at-bats, and they're choking up and shortening their swings to make it 4-0, and they deserve it.
First pitch low and away to Jacob Anderson.
I'd like to call this old school baseball. Not trying to do too much, just trying to do one at-bat at a time, give it to the next guy, and put runs on the board.
Count even, 1-1 after the strike from Zimmer. That one is yanked into foul territory down the third baseline. Count 1-2. Still no outs in the top of the 5th. The Clippers have scored 3 runs, making the score 4-0. Monarchs with a couple hits of their own, but nothing to show for them.
Oh, heads up. That ball nearly took off someone's head in the dugout. My goodness. That was a hot shot. The boys got to be careful. And that's what you expect when you got a guy throwing in the 90s like Zimmer, like all the Michigan guys we're going to see on the bump tonight.
Four, 6, 3. Double play is no good, but the Monarchs get the lead runner at second. They send Nielsen back to the dugout, but Jacob Anderson is on first after the fielder's choice.
Zimmer finding the zone, doing his part.
Zimmer faces Cole Brennan now. As the pitch inside and low fools Brennan.
Zimmer's ball moves a lot, and he likes to mix up his locations, as now we got Overitis setting up outside. Just missed a little low. And that's what you want out of a pitcher. You don't want a guy that can put it in the same spot every time. You want a guy that can mix it up. Eye level, selection, and velocity, and Zimmer's done that so far.
Runner on the move, but it's fouled away, so Anderson will return to first. Count 1-2 on Brennan. This is Brennan's first series with the Muskegon Clippers. Just joined the team. So far tonight, he's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Two one, fouled away. So 2 strikes on Brennan and a man on first. That one skips away from the catcher Overitis. And Anderson will go to second.
Tough play there for Overitis to stop that. The ball was in the dirt, skipping away. But you got to limit the damage here in this inning if you're the Monarchs. Now a man in scoring position. You got to cut the lead short and get back on offense.
Right side to Fitzharris. Throw over to Bush for the second out. Anderson goes over to third.
A good bounce back at bat for Zimmer on the mound. So now there's 2 away for the Monarchs. Really need to cut this run short and keep this game at a 4-0 game. Because slowly it can get out of hand if you don't let it.
Well, we've seen the Monarchs offense come alive and do this exact same thing to opponents. Heilich fouls that one right back at us into the netting. Count 0-1. 2 outs, but still a man on third in scoring position for Muskegon. We haven't really seen the opposition put together many long multi-run innings.
No.
Too often against the Monarchs, but getting a taste of their own medicine here. And a filthy pitch there.
Oh, yeah. First pitch off speed. And Zimmer can do that for a strike. And he's done that several times already this inning. Here we go with the 0-2. Setting up outside. Overitis does.
0-2 in between the legs of the catcher, and another run will score.
It's good baseball from Jacob Anderson and the Clippers to make it a 5-0 lead. The Clippers doing all the little things right tonight. Once again, Jake, we keep talking about lucky and unlucky success. This is none. This is earned.
Just a lot of heads-up baseball thus far by Muskegon. Swing and a miss. Down goes Heilich. Ryan Zimmer gets out of that one. But 4 runs come across home plate in the top of the 5th for the visitors. 5-0 is the score going to the bottom of the 5th. And Alex, it's the Monarchs' turn for the offense to have a big second half of the game.
They need to wake up, and they need to do it soon, because this game could be over before they know it based on the zeros that they put up every single inning. 3 hits is okay, but if you're the number 1 team in the league, you have high expectations, and you got to get the ball rolling at some point. Last inning, they did have good at-bats. They did hit the ball hard, but you'd like to see it from not just 2 or 3 guys. You'd like to see it from the whole starting 9, and it's got to start soon.
The story of many of the losses this season for the Monarchs have been the lack of offensive production in the back half of games. And going hand in hand with that, a couple offensive surges by the opponents have come back to haunt the Monarchs. So looking to flip the script tonight in a 5-run hole in the first half of the game. So perhaps the Monarchs offense will come alive in the second half. But Alex, the question that is on everyone's mind is, how do you bounce back when one of your teammates goes down like Dresselhaus unfortunately did with that scary play in left field?
Well, you got to turn it into fuel. You want to play for him. You want to win for him. So there's one way to do it, and I think that's the best way. That's the healthiest way to cope with it. You want to say, all right, let's put our backs against the wall and get a W for him.
It was good to see Dresselhaus up and seemingly doing okay. I'm sure roughed up and shaken up, to say the least. It was a very hard collision going back to the left field wall, trying to track that shot by A.J. Miranda. But I believe he's back in the Monarchs dugout as Fitzharris eats a pitch of his own.
Yeah. But nonetheless, he's on board to lead off this inning. That ball looked like it hit him just off the hip. But I wouldn't want anyone else to be up right now other than Reese Longstaff. League leader in average, like you said earlier, Jake. Hitting around 376, excuse me.
Sliding over to his right is the catcher Heilich to keep that pitch in front of him. Paxton Miller still in the game for Muskegon. So far putting up zeros against the first place Monarchs. Low and outside again. Count 2-0 on the leadoff hitter Longstaff.
Great opportunity for Longstaff to let it ride here. A 2-0. Got to be sit fastball here. Yeah, he was looking for it and he found it. But Paxton Miller didn't really give him anything to hit. That ball was still on the outer part of the plate. So Miller definitely a smart pitcher, always thinking ahead. Never giving the batters anything really to hit.
Count 3-1 now. Fitzharris still at first. Nobody down in the bottom of the fifth. 5-0 is the score. Monarchs will need a big second half of this game to complete the sweep. Outside, Longstaff is on at first. Fitzharris trotting over to second.
This is where the Monarchs need to capitalize off of this hot start they've had in this inning. And Keto does a fantastic job of advancing runners, really in all situations, hitting the ball hard always. And a smart, unselfish player, Keto is. This is crucial here for the Monarchs.
First pitch outside to Keto. Count 1-0. 2 runners on. what the Monarchs dugout is hoping will be a big bottom of the fifth. Hit to the right side. Nielsen bobbles it. He was going to throw to second, it looked like, but he'll step on first. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Keto going back to the dugout.
And what we were just talking about, Keto does a fantastic job of always keeping the play moving, advancing the runners. As now we got men in scoring position with the RBI leader of the team, Tyler Nelson, up. This is exactly what you wanted if you're the Monarchs. With one swing, you can get back in this game and cut the lead down with just one swing. Here we go.
First pitch fastball from Paxton Miller. Fouled to the backstop by Nelson. Nelson went 1 for 3 last night, had an infield single. Fitzharris on third, Longstaff on second. That's a rip up the middle. 1 run will score. Rounding third is the speedy Longstaff. There's no question he'll score, and the Monarchs are right back in it.
Just like that, one swing changes the whole game. 5-2, the Monarchs cut the lead short. Excellent clutch hitting once again from one of the most clutch hitters on the team in Tyler Nelson. Jake, there's a reason why he's leading the team in RBIs, and we saw it just there. Add 2 to his name. Exactly what you wanted if you're the Monarchs. Now this gives you a chance to chip away at this lead. And now you got the power hitter in your lineup, Hayden Yatzak, up. Things are rolling.
Yatzak pops that one into foul territory. But the first baseman, Nielsen, isn't able to catch up to it.
Tough play.
So Yatzak stays alive.
Tough play there for Nielsen. For the folks watching, you couldn't see what happened. Nielsen really couldn't get a good read off of that, and it was just a little out of reach. Just by the fence.
Count 0-1 on Hayden Yatzak. Takes a pitch high, count even, 1 apiece. You might consider this series 1 win for the Monarchs, 1 win for Hayden Yatzak with all that he did in Game 1.
Yep.
With the go-ahead home run and 2 lockdown innings of pitching. Swings and misses there.
Some interesting strategy so far from Heilich and Paxton Miller. They really like to set up outside on the Monarchs' power hitters, and it wouldn't. Looks like they're going to keep doing that on the 1-2.
They do. Yatzak skies it to center for the second out. Nelson returns to first.
That's excellent pitching there from Paxton Miller. Not really giving Yatzak anything to hit. That off speed that just touches the outside part of the plate. Difficult to get any power behind it. And that's why you saw Yatzak kind of fly that one to center field. Excellent pitching and communication from Heilich and Paxton Miller so far for the Clippers.
2 down, 5-2 is the score. That one looked like it bounced and hit Bush, but maybe it caught him directly. So Bush will take first. Nelson moves to second.
And we're not done yet. Henry Brown, a great 2-out hitter, especially with runners in scoring position. Let's keep this inning going. The Monarchs have been clutch all season with 2 outs. So they're no stranger to this situation.
Henry Brown played a big role in last night's game with some insurance runs and a lot of 2-out offense, hoping to do the same tonight.
Let's call it how it is. He's tied for home runs this year on the Monarchs, 4 apiece with Sam Bush on first. He's now earned the right to be one of the power hitters. And if there's a home run derby, he might be in it.
That one goes over the head of Henry Brown. Both runners will advance. And Henry Brown ahead in the count with 2 outs, and once again, 2 runners in scoring position.
Brown a little shook up there as that ball was behind his head. Not something you really want to have happen to you when you're in the box. A little bit of a stare down from Brown just to let him know he wasn't happy with that. Once again, setting up outside.
Henry Brown thought the count might move to 3-0, but in fact it is 2-1 now. Still with 2 outs. Monarchs trail by 3, but it could change with 1 swing. Pitch was outside in the turf. Count 3-1. Seth Gurgley on deck, awaiting his first action in tonight's game.
Brown really has to be selective here. Hitters count with the 3-1.
Henry Brown will take first base, and Seth Gurgley has the bases juiced.
Gurgley, another clutch hitter this season. And this is an opportunity for the Monarchs to completely change this game. A smart decision to go to the mound if you're Muskegon. And it looks like we're going to see some action in the bullpen coming to the mound to replace an excellent outing in Paxton Miller. The whole Clippers team is on their feet, ready to give him an ovation. But his stats could really drastically change with this at-bat here. He's got 3 earned runs to his name on the bases. So if you're Seth Gurgley, you got to know that you got to hit it hard and put together a quality at-bat. Don't try to do too much, but definitely there's some weight on your shoulders. But we've seen Seth be able to handle that. He's been absolutely fantastic with runners in scoring position. One of the most crucial stats you could really see in baseball is RISP, runners in scoring position. And Gurgley is one of the team leaders this year in that category.
Into the game for Muskegon is a left-handed pitcher, Isaac Toole, number 13, a rising sophomore at Lansing Community College. But he inherits a difficult position with bases loaded and one of the more veteran hitters on this Monarchs team in Seth Gurgley.
The lefty-lefty matchup. Interesting move from Muskegon. The next 2 batters are going to be lefties for Toole, Gurgley and Overitis. So a smart strategy-wise move. But Gurgley has shown no weakness so far with the lefty-lefty matchup. He often likes to take the ball to the opposite side on outside pitches. I'd say he's one of the best on the Monarchs of utilizing all fields.
No question as of late. Seth Gurgley is one of the hottest hitters in the lineup. Went 2 for 4 with 2 singles in game 1 of this series. Had a single last night. Had that 3-run shot to right field a couple series ago with family in attendance. And down 3, Seth Gurgley finds himself in the box for the first time tonight, crowding the plate with 3 runners on. First pitch ball. by Isaac Toole. He's made 6 appearances, 18 innings pitched so far this year with a 4 flat ERA, and does a good job of limiting the freebies. Only 6 of them through 18 frames. And he gets Gurgley off balance there.
Looks like Toole had him fooled there. The lefty being crafty so far. Really dancing around Gurgley. As Heilich sets up outside once again. But that curveball missed inside. Maybe a little too inside for Gurgley's liking. But nonetheless, Seth has got to choke up and put something together here. This is an opportunity that the Monarchs cannot shy away from.
Here's the 1-2. That's poked into shallow center field. That's going to drop down. 2 runs will score. Coming home is Sam Bush. And from first to third goes Henry Brown. Seth Gurgley is loving it at first.
A clutch hitter comes up clutch once again. The Monarchs are back in this game with 2 runs to make it 5-4. Completely different game. And this is exactly what we needed if you're a Monarch fan. Back in this game, an excellent piece of hitting there from Seth. Never really tries to do too much. Only tries to do his job. He's a clutch hitter and a guy you want in the box.
All with 2 outs. This Monarchs offense has risen to the occasion in the bottom of the 5th. 5-4, only down by 1. Entered this inning 5-0. Gurgley on his way to second, and a deep drive into right field by Overitis. Taking a few steps back is Smith for the 3rd out. So the Monarchs do leave a few on base, but a 4-run eruption.
Absolutely, Jake. All with 2 outs, like you said. Good teams find a way to get it done when they need to. And the Monarchs, just like that, pull 4 runs out of their hat. My goodness, that's clutch. Not easy, too.
Seth Gurgley, his first at-bat in tonight's ballgame, coming in for Jake Dresselhaus, and delivers a 2 RBI blooper into center field. Talk about staying ready for your moment.
Oh, absolutely. And that really gives credit to his approach. He knew the job he needed to do. And having an approach really means you have a plan, you're focused, you're determined to get the job done. And Gurgley was just planning on hitting it hard, and he hits a lot of line drives. He seems to be one of the guys that doesn't seem to hit ground balls often. He's always a guy that hits frozen ropes, and that's something coaches love to see, and that's why he's in the lineup pretty much every night, except for tonight getting an off night, just a rest. But Ben Kamenowski absolutely loves having him in the outfield, and you can see why.
Probably the best center fielder this team has, and that's saying a lot because this is a star-studded outfield with Longstaff, Nelson, now Dresselhaus, since he has joined the team. Ian Kennedy gets some reps in left field from time to time when he's not at first base. So Ryan Zimmer comes back to the mound for the Monarchs with a more comfortable scenario, only down 1. He relieved Ahmad Harajli, who went 3 pretty strong innings, got out of a bases-loaded jam in the first, but then allowed the Muskegon Clippers to set the table in the 4th. But a strike there over to first by Joe Quito for the first out.
Joe Quito, one of the stellar infield arms and gloves that the Monarchs have, really showing it there once again. And credit to Zimmer for starting off on the right foot, filling up the zone, giving his defense a chance to stay in this game. And he's been cruising so far.
First pitch, ball down low to the right fielder Stoney Smith that made the last out of the bottom of the 5th.
Nice late movement there from Zimmer. When a guy throws as hard as he does and his ball moves, that's difficult to hit.
That one might have caught a piece of Overitis and escaped the protection there. So a nice courtesy move by the home plate umpire to allow Overitis to take a minute as he delivers a ball to Zimmer on the bump.
It's destined to happen a few times because baseball is just like that. Sometimes got to shake it off.
One, two. The count on Stoney Smith, 1 out. Zimmer shakes off Overitis 3 or 4 times, but they come to an agreement and strike out Smith.
Zimmer is really finding himself this inning. 2 up, 2 down. A really effortless pitching motion Zimmer has. And we alluded to his ball moving. And it moved on that pitch, big time.
Back to the top of the order for Muskegon with Q Phillips. Had a double that he stretched out with that aggressive and assertive approach coming out of the box. Here's the 1-0. Inside, misses. Count 2-0. Now on Phillips with 2 outs. 5-4 is the score. Both teams put up 4 runs in the 5th inning. Zimmer behind 3-0 here. Phillips takes a strike, count 3-1. Blows it by him. That's what you'll get from these Michigan pitchers. Absolute heat and smoke.
And how
brings
about
the count full.
He's ready to go back. He's got his rhythm, and he's found it, and he's ready.
Payoff pitch walked him.
Just a little in. But Jake, you said it best. These guys don't mess around with the heat. They really bring it. And Muskegon has a few solid at-bats tonight, but you see a lot of highlights from the guys on the mound supporting the maize and blue.
Second time tonight, A.J. Miranda is hit by a pitch. That time gets him on the right arm. So Muskegon with an opportunity to create some offense with 2 outs, answering the call of the Monarchs.
Yep. Putting together a 2-out rally of their own, like you said. And you got to keep your foot on the gas pedal. Otherwise, good teams will take advantage of that. And tonight, Muskegon has done just that. Really doing the little things right. And they need some insurance runs. The Monarchs are threatening on offense. Looked like a strike there, but a little inside for the umpire's liking.
Count 1-0 on Colin Cornwell. 1 for 1 with a fielder's choice and a walk so far tonight. Singled in his most recent plate appearance. Takes a strike. Count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillips on second, Miranda on first with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Monarchs offense looks to be coming into its own. Muskegon can certainly use some padding. That pitch misses low and inside. Count 2-1.
Can't lose him here if you're Zimmer. This is a crucial stretch here. We always talk about mini victories, mini battles. This is definitely one that you want to win if you're the Monarchs. Cut this lead short. Keep it this way.
That is roped into left center field. That's guaranteed to score 1. Going to second is Cornwell. First to third goes Miranda. And the score is now 6-4.
Excellent hitting from Colin Cornwell. It's exactly what you want out of your cleanup hitter. The Clippers now have a 6-4 lead. Not falling asleep. The Clippers knew that the Monarchs are on their heels. So that's big-time baseball there from Muskegon. Not falling asleep. Putting together a nice little at-bat. Going opposite field, which I love. And it looks like Ben Kalmanowski is going to head out to the mound and talk things over with his defense. Just talk to Ryan Zimmer, slow him down.
And the more of a groove we've seen Zimmer get in this evening, the quicker he has worked. So, not a bad move by Coach Kalmanowski to slow the roll.
Yep.
A little bit of Ryan Zimmer. Still with 2 outs. Only 1 out needed to get out of this inning, but with 2 runners in scoring position, you want to take as much caution as possible. Pitch gets away from Overitis. Charging home is Miranda. Another run will score. And Cornwell is on at third now.
Jake, this is the little battle we were talking about. 2 outs with men in scoring position. Can the Monarchs win that battle and keep them from scoring? But the Clippers not falling asleep and adding that lead now. To now 7-4.
Popped up right side. Fitzharris camped under it to make the 3rd out. But more 2-out offense this time for the visitors. The Muskegon Clippers, they had their lead cut to 5-4. It's now 7-4. They get a couple runs back. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Monarchs trailing by 3. Monarchs trailed by 5 going into the bottom of the 5th. Now going to the bottom of the 6th. They trail by 3. And Jack Fitzharris will lead off an inning for the 3rd time tonight. Takes a first pitch strike from Isaac Toole that relieved Paxton Miller. Miller went 4 2/3.
So, Jake, as we get to the back half of this game, the Monarchs really don't have to get all of it back at one time. They need to chip away, though. They need to put together quality at-bats, bit by bit, piece by piece, and slim that 3-run deficit that they have. It's possible they put up 4 just last inning.
And I'd say the key to doing that is start your offensive work earlier than with 2 outs, right? If you have a few men in scoring position, then give yourself more than one opportunity to get after it.
Yeah, when you kind of have to put yourself in that situation, it kind of leaves yourself desperate. So, yeah, attack it before it attacks you. Well said.
Here's the 2-2. Stays high, count full. Now on Fitzharris. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th, ended up scoring the first run of the game for the Monarchs. Payoff pitch fouled sharply behind the Monarchs dugout into the parking lot.
And I know the Monarchs aren't really happy with themselves at the moment, but give credit to the Clippers pitching tonight. Paxton Miller and now Isaac Toole locking it up. But a good start to the inning nonetheless. And Jack Fitzharris, who seems to have a knack for getting on base just when you need it to be. And that sets up the leadoff hitter, the hottest hitter on the Monarchs, in Reese Longstaff. And Jake, you talked about not having things start with 2 outs. Well, we've got nobody out. And we got top of the lineup.
Longstaff takes a first pitch strike. Longstaff, Keto, Nelson. The first 3 hitters in the Monarchs order.
Back, yep, good move. It's always a little bit of a telegraph when a lefty throws over. So Fitzharris, with a healthy lead over there, needs to be careful of that. This Toole looks like he's going to go back there soon.
Longstaff pops it up to the second baseman, Anderson. There's 1 down. That'll bring up Joe Keto, playing shortstop tonight for the Monarchs. Plays all over the infield, really everywhere but first base. Fitzharris on the run, throw down. The shortstop, Todd, just got there in time.
Credit that to Fitzharris's beautiful jump. We talked about his aggressive lead over there. Did a good job timing up Isaac Toole. And now it gives Keto a chance to put together a quality at bat and add an RBI to his name. So all the little things find a way to add up. Good block there, though, from Heilich, who's been a wall all night. That's a subtle little key for success. Muskegon needs to continue to do that.
A couple of the Clippers' runs have come on balls that have escaped the Monarchs back to the backstop. And Joe Keto is hit by a pitch. That might put him at double digits for HBPs on the season.
Oh, it does. He's well over 10. Leads the team in pitches he's hit by. And that's a lot tonight. That is well over 4 just in tonight's game.
3 Monarchs have been hit by pitches. Moving over to the Clippers side. 3, I think, as well.
Yep. Not normal. But here we go. We're in an opportunity to piece together more runs with a guy that loves to be in these situations, Tyler Nelson. So the Monarchs don't go away. That's what good teams do. They scrap and claw, and they don't go away easy.
With one out, count 1-0 on Tyler Nelson. Keto on first. Fitzharris on second. Nelson takes a strike. Count even. But with that 2 RBI single in Nelson's last at-bat, that lifts him tied with Trent Nielsen of the Clippers for third in the league with 23 RBIs. That one is hit to the left side through the gap. Rounding third is Fitzharris. He's coming home. And Tyler Nelson takes sole possession of third place in the league in terms of RBIs.
How about that? Once again, coming up clutch. The Monarchs are smart with their approach. They don't want to tie this game. They don't want to lose this game. They want to win, or that's it. They just want to win. And they're showing that in every facet of the game. Tyler Nelson with yet again another clutch single. 7-5. The Monarchs not going away. Just 5 runs in 2 innings. And only 1 out. So they're really being efficient.
Fastball outside. Count 1-0 to Hayden Yatzak. Tyler Nelson thrives with runners on base. That's just what he does. His third RBI of the night there on that single through the left side. Count 2-0. We've got some Indiana State chemistry on the base paths for the Monarchs, both Keto and Nelson.
And if you're Yatzak, you need to find that pitch. And it's got to be right there, 2-0, in the most crucial situation of the game so far. That was a good take there, a little high and in. But that goes to the approach. It has to be in one spot, and he didn't like it. So that's good plate discipline there from Yatzak. Now 3-0. Do you dare give him the green light in this situation? I would say Kamenetsky is leaning towards that. Jake, I think you would agree.
He holds off on the green light for now. Count 3-1. Certainly a pitch that looked like one that Yatzak could have mashed.
Yeah.
But being very selective, which I think we would opt for. Here's the pitch. Right side, hit sharply. Out of the reach of the second baseman, Anderson. Coming home is Keto. Runners on the corners for the Monarchs. It's now 7-6.
You see why they're in first place. When they hit a wall, they run right through it. Monarchs not going away. 7-6 now. Hayden Yatzak pulling little Miguel Cabrera. A nice little hot shot to the right side of the field. You see Miguel do that all the time. A nice swing from Hayden Yatzak. And how about the wheels from Tyler Nelson from first to third? One of the speedsters on this team.
That ball didn't get in too far into right field.
That's why I'm so surprised. And yet again, 1 out.
Sam Bush takes an appetizing off-speed pitch that broke right down into the strike zone. Count 0-1.
Sam Bush has got to be disciplined here. I know he likes to hit home runs, but within himself.
That one is hit high, but not very far into right field. Stoney Smith was playing back. He comes in to make the catch, but another run scores on the sac fly, and we have ourselves a tie ball game.
That is brilliant baseball from Sam Bush to put together a quality at-bat, a smart at-bat. That's exactly where that ball needed to go. And he was early on that pitch, and he barreled it up. This is just a good ball club. The Monarchs don't go away at all. Tied up at 7. Excellent job. They've won this inning.
That pitch deflects off of the tip of the glove of Heilich. That allows Yatzak to go to second. And another runner in scoring position, Henry Brown. This is the 2-out man that you want up.
Yep, this is crucial here for Henry Brown, a guy that's been clutch all season with 2 outs. And just like that, the Monarchs are out hitting the Clippers.
Yatzak swiping third, but a foul ball by Brown.
Yatzak, like you said, Jake, swiping third. He would have been safe.
By a mile.
He timed up Isaac Toole perfectly on that delayed steal from his big secondary lead. But nonetheless, Henry Brown has a job to do. Work your plan and then plan your work.
1-1 count on Brown. 2 outs, Yatzak on second. Tie game. Knotted up at 7. A check swing there. Brown didn't go.
You can kind of feel the momentum shifting back in the Monarchs' favor. 7 runs in only 2 innings. Not many teams out there can do that.
The crazy thing is that this isn't even close to some of the big innings offensively that the Monarchs have had. Talk about an 8-run inning in the second inning of one game, a 10-run third inning of another one just last week.
This is a special team, to say the least.
The 3-1. Called second strike. Henry Brown thought he might be on his way to first, but instead full count. That's
Get
hit
down.
into right field. Tie game no longer. Henry Brown delivers once again with 2 outs. Monarchs take the lead.
How about that? Muskegon has to be kicking themselves that they've blown this game. But don't think about Muskegon. Think about the Monarchs not backing down, getting 8 runs in 2 innings. My goodness, putting back-to-back 4s shows you the DNA they have, the caliber of players they have. My goodness, it's not easy to be down big. Down 5-0, Jake. 5-0. They've come back to make it an 8-7 lead. Excellent baseball. You have to be thrilled with the unselfish play to just do your job and don't try to swing for the fences. Don't swing out of your shoes. Just hit it hard and give it to the next guy.
I'll tell you what, Alex, this feels like a little bit of payback, revenge, you might say. If we go back a few weeks to the series in Muskegon, the Monarchs had a 10-5 lead, and the Clippers won on a walk-off bomb.
Yeah. Baseball's a game where you don't forget. And the Monarchs surely haven't forgotten. And they've held this first place leader in the back of their minds this entire game. You know, they can't afford to drop any games, especially in this league, having it so competitive. But look at the guys; they're up and cheering on one another, cracking some smiles. They're a hungry group of guys.
Replacing Isaac Toole on the bump for Muskegon is Will Goebel, a right-hander from Grand Valley State University. He actually transferred to GVSU from Indiana State in early May, so he'll be a Laker in a few months. Only made 3 appearances in the spring for Indiana State, but I'm sure he knows all of the Sycamores on this Monarchs roster.
Yep.
Keto, Nelson, Brown, Gurgley. But we pick things back up. Seth Gurgley steps into the box. Henry Brown on first. And Alex, this is a repeated theme. 2-out offense for both sides, but more drastic, the Monarchs.
When their backs are against the wall, they find a way. That's not what average teams do. That's not what bad teams do. That's what great teams do. And the Monarchs deserve every ounce of success that has fallen their way after a slow start. 8 runs in just 2 innings. Back-to-back 4s in each. And Jake, you said it best. 2 outs. They find a way.
A quick pickoff move by Goebel as he enters the game. Checking in on Henry Brown. Count 0-1 on Gurgley. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Out of nowhere, Monarchs storm back and take the lead for the first time tonight. 8-7 is the score. Swing and a miss there from Gurgley. Count 1-2. Goebel doing his best to play the role of damage control. And another throw over.
A smart throw over. As Brown is sporting a hungry lead. And you can just sense the Monarchs are happy with the lead, but they're not satisfied. They always want more.
Swing and a miss. Retires Seth Gurgley for the final out of the bottom of the 6th. But 8 runs in 2 innings, 4 apiece in the 5th and the 6th for the Monarchs. And they now have a 1-run lead.
How about that? With that offense, with that being said, though, they need to not get too much confidence on defense and pitching. They need to do their jobs, and they need to keep those momentum and transfer it back to offense so that we can get back to the bottom of the 7th, keeping that lead. This is crucial here for the Monarchs. This is a big inning as we see a pitching change.
It's Keaton Ballard entering the game. And he actually pitched in the first game of this series, went 1 2/3, and just threw up zeros.
Yep.
0 hits, 0 runs. Walked a couple guys. But it's the runs that matter in the end, and he didn't give up any of those.
This is really where the game is going to be won or lost for the Monarchs. Can they continuously shut it down on the bump? It's the big if. Fill up the zone with strikes and find your rhythm. That's all Keaton Ballard needs to do. We've talked about it all night for each of the pitchers. And when they've done that, good things have happened.
Alex, we've talked about a few times tonight the importance of insurance runs. We thought it might be insurance runs for Muskegon, which they thought they had. Turns out they didn't have enough. And now with the Monarchs having the lead, we talk about insurance runs for the home team. And if we just flip the page back to last night, I think it's fair to say that this team does know how crucial those are, and Henry Brown showed exactly that.
He sure did. That 2-run shot home run.
In the 8th inning.
Crucial. And this is another battle that needs to be won for the Monarchs. You need to keep this lead. You need to keep the momentum going.
So Keaton Ballard into the game facing Jacob Anderson. That one's popped foul. A little bit of shade starting to cover the corners of the infield. Outfield still battling the sun. That one is skied into left center field. Calling off Nelson is Gurgley for the first out.
That's an efficient start for Keaton Ballard. That's exactly what you were looking for. And good talk out there in left center. Gurgley calling off Tyler Nelson out there in center. We don't want to see another collision and more bodies get injured.
First pitch to Cole Brennan outside. Count 1-0. Make that 1-1. Brennan just joined the Clippers this series, but has struggled against this Monarchs pitching. Fastball low, count 3-1. But Keaton Ballard has really been coming on strong as of late, giving the Monarchs some quality innings. That goes right back to Ballard. Ricochets off his glove. The bare hand play by Keto. Got him!
How about that play from Joe Keto to bare hand that ricochet off of Ballard? My goodness. If SportsCenter was calling this game, if ESPN was calling this game, that would definitely be on top 10 later. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is exactly what we were talking about for the Monarchs. You needed to keep this momentum rolling and swing it back to offense. And Keaton Ballard has done just that with a lot of help from Joe Keto.
That's the type of night it might be shaping up to be with a bounce like that going the way of the Monarchs and a hot shot right to Henry Brown. And Keaton Ballard with a 1-2-3 inning.
1-2-3. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And head skipper Ben Kamenowski's definitely satisfied with his outing so far. 1-2-3. The Monarchs head over to offense. It's crucial.
Alex, here's a question for you. The vibes that I was getting there, that was a bigger inning for Muskegon than it was for the Monarchs, right? Because if you're Muskegon, you have a 5-0 lead, but you give up 8 runs in 2 innings. You give up the lead. Most importantly, you're down 1. That felt like a pivotal inning, and putting up no runs there, that seems deflating.
Oh, it for sure does. Momentum goes for both ways. You know, the offense can really get hot, but then what does that mean? The defense even gets colder. So, yes, Michigan Monarchs got so much energy and so much hype from those back-to-back 4-run innings, but for as much energy as the Monarchs have gotten, 2 times less energy, or deflated, rather, the Clippers have been. So excellent point there, Jake, by you. So this game could really, what do you do with guys that are down? You kick them while they're down. You keep them down. And if the Monarchs want to come out with a W, they need to add more runs because, you know, the Clippers are going to find their way back.
It'll all start with Tyler Overitis, the 8-hitter, in the lineup for the Monarchs tonight. Overitis, Fitzharris, then top with Longstaff. Overitis facing his former team. He played for these same Clippers last summer, coming over to Adrian for this one. Takes a first pitch strike from Will Goebel. There's so much turnover with each organization summer to summers. I wouldn't expect that he would know too much of the current Muskegon roster, but you grow up and play on different travel teams and perhaps high school ball. You probably know a guy or two on each team.
Yeah, he's definitely familiar with the whole outfit, to say the least.
A half swing there by Overitis. Didn't go around. Count 2-1. That one is hit well into center field, but Phillips doesn't have to go very far to make that grab.
It's a case of hitting it a little too hard. Overitis had a hot shot right off the bat, unfortunately, right to the center fielder, Phillips, like you said. But you got to be happy with that at bat. The Monarchs not going away. Still keeping the foot on the gas pedal. And Overitis really with a good swing there.
That one has a chance to bloop into right field, but tracking over is Anderson for the second out.
It's good pitching there from Goebel. Not being afraid, getting 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. And this is a crucial inning for Muskegon to limit this damage and get back on offense. So it works both ways.
If you're Goebel, as much as you want 2 outs, this is the team that you probably want 2 outs against the least because of the damage that the Monarchs have been able to do with its back against the wall tonight and even yesterday night. But you got to go through 2 to get to 3.
Yeah, Jake, like you said, the Monarchs are lethal with 2 outs.
Not to mention the top of the order here with Reese Longstaff.
Yep. Longstaff not really happy with that one. On the inner part of the plate.
That one is roped into left center, and extending his arm is Brennan to make the grab. Longstaff thought he might have an extra base hit and flings his helmet in frustration. That'll take us to the top of the 8th. 8-7 is still the score. Will Goebel comes into the game for his first full inning and shuts down the Monarchs' attack. 1-run game. This time it's the Monarchs on top going to the top half of the 8th. We'll be right back with you. To the top of the 8th we go. Monarchs bring in Jalen Jones, the last member of the University of Michigan trio. Alongside Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorwitz. Wrapping up this North Division clash here in Adrian, Michigan between the Monarchs and Clippers. First pitch to Logan Todd. Up high and in for a ball. Monarchs looking for the sweep. They were originally down 5-0 in this game, but scraped across 8 runs in 2 innings when you put the 5th and the 6th together. Score is now 8-7. The home team leads. Looking to take 3 in a row and 8 of 9.
Really nice pitch there from Jalen Jones. Jake, every time we see him on the mound, we rave about him. We say he's exciting. He's got a fantastic fastball and dynamite off speed. Just needs to fill up the zone and trust his arm.
He sawed him off there. Count 2-2.
Jones, much like his other Michigan teammates, throwing in the mid-90s, sometimes gets up to 97. He's been clocked this season. And as he entertains this off-speed here, outside pitch here.
Full count now on Logan Todd. Nobody down, top of the 8th. A big deep breath from Jones. Sets at the belt. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled away. Jones, like Harajli, who started the game for the Monarchs, in the transfer portal, potentially on his way out. The word is that Jalen Jones is definitely departing from Michigan, looking for some warmer weather from Thomasville, Georgia.
And no surprise, we see foul balls on the first base side. Todd a little late on those fastballs of Jalen Jones. Makes sense when you're throwing in the mid-90s, upper 90s. That'll get you.
Jalen Jones starts his 3rd appearance in a Monarchs uniform with a walk of Logan Todd. And the tying run is on first for Muskegon.
Can't be too lenient here, giving up free bases, especially in the 8th inning. This is crunch time for the Monarchs.
That one is hit down the line, foul in right field by Stoney Smith. That one certainly would have taken Logan Todd from first to third and made this game a bit of a sweat.
Big sigh of relief there from Jalen Jones as he's starting to find his rhythm here. Filling up the zone with some more strikes. Nice soft speed. Oh, that's beautiful.
Best pitch we've seen all night from either side.
Yep, that was beautiful. And Stoney Smith just had to stand there and watch.
Oh, 2 fought off by Smith. Count stays the same. No outs, top of the 8th. Muskegon down 1.
Let's see if Jones goes back to that curveball here on the 0-2. He does. Oh, just a tad up and away. But I think the right selection there on the 0-2. You really had Stoney Smith fooled just a few pitches ago.
One, two. Stoney Smith watches it go by.
Beautiful pitch there from Jalen Jones. Painting that outside corner. Upper 90s fastball on the outer heart of the plate. How do you hit that? Clutch out from from Jones to get the ball rolling in the right direction. And how about that punch call from the umpire? A little enthusiasm there.
Had a little oomph to it.
Yeah, definitely some theatrics here in Adrian, Michigan. Mini Hollywood.
Count 0-1. Fastball finds the zone on the leadoff man, Q Phillips. So with that punch out, there's one out in the top of the 8th.
Oh. Looks like that pitch might have fooled Overitis even. His fastball, or excuse me, his off speed is just so sharp. His spin rate is just off the charts. That's why his off speed is so difficult to even locate. Sometimes it's a blessing and a curse just from a pitcher to throw strikes with that spin rate and velocity.
A chopper to Fitzharris. He takes it off the bounce and a quick throw. But Phillips beat it out.
That's one of those Fitzharris would like to have over again. He's got to come up and charge that. Otherwise, the turf will eat you up every time. We've seen it all throughout the season. It's consistent. You got to come up and get those. And now the Clippers are in position to tie this one up here. This is a huge at-bat for A.J. Miranda.
Miranda has scored twice tonight. It's 1 for 1, even though he's had 4 plate appearances. He's walked once, hit by 2 pitches. Had the triple to left field in the 5th.
Looks like Jones is trying to throw a little too hard. You can see he's really torquing his body and twisting it in such a way where he's kind of flailing his lower half.
That's hit well into right field. Going back is Longstaff. And Todd will score. 8-8. Muskegon knots it up here in the top of the 8th. 2 outs, but now the go-ahead run is on first.
It's good baseball there from A.J. Miranda. Doing a job when it mattered. And Jake, like you said, 8-8. We're not seeing a shy amount of runs here tonight.
First time Jones is thrown over to first. It's still Q Phillips on the bag, but a threat he is.
Oh, good move.
But a better job by Phillips to evade the Joe Quito tag.
It looks like Phillips, Jake, might have did a hook slide there and avoided the tag. It looked like the throw beat him, and Quito definitely upset with that. But nonetheless, a great move from Jalen Jones and a good play from Sam Bush to cut the angle and make the throw to second. From our angle, it looked like he was out, but obviously the infield umpire has a better view. But a good slide from Phillips nonetheless.
Still 2 outs after the sac fly that tied it. Q Phillips in scoring position with Colin Cornwell up to bat.
That was a great move by Jalen Jones. And one thing a pitcher hates is when he can't get credit for his own pickoff moves.
Swing and miss there from Cornwell. Count even. 1-1. Feels like with a bit of action so far this inning. Jones has sped up a little bit, but taking his time on this pitch.
Yep. Good timing, Jake. Yeah. You called that before you saw it.
Do guys sometimes step off just to give themselves an extra second or two, even if there's
100%.
no threat there at
100%.
second?
Absolutely. One of the things pitchers don't do enough is really establish their time. It's their mound. It's not the whole game revolves around you. So it's really up to you to stake your claim on the mound. And Jake, I think that's something that's undervalued when pitchers are pitching.
1-2, low and outside. Overitis has to extend his left arm to corral that. Count even, 2 apiece. An opportunity for Muskegon to create 2-out offense. This has been a back and forth game to say the least. Muskegon off to a hot start. Monarchs bring the heat in the middle of the game. But it was Muskegon that took control just minutes ago. Jalen Jones with a nasty off speed to end the inning.
Beautiful lefty-lefty hook. Jalen Jones closing the inning out in fashion. But the the Clippers tied up 8 apiece, Jake. Can't fall asleep.
Bottom of the 8th, tied at 8. You don't hear that very often, Alex.
Nope. We got more runs than hits. That's another thing that's strange. Still no errors, though, so this is a clean defensive game. But a lot of walks, a lot of hit by pitches, pass balls. It's really how Muskegon has gotten their luck.
Muskegon does have a reputation as one of the more pesky teams
100%.
in the entire GLSEL, a team that won't go away. We were talking last night about the professional mindset of the organization as a whole. And Muskegon taking this game as serious as the Monarchs. Just as much as the Monarchs want to get a sweep, Muskegon doesn't want to get swept. And with that, they'll bring in Lucas Brewer, a right-hander from Lansing Community College, to replace Will Goebel.
Chance for Joe Quito to get a hit in this game. Still hitless. He's had several good at-bats in this series, but not a lot of hits to show for it. He's hit the ball hard, and he's advanced the runners. He's a very valuable asset in this lineup. That's why you see him at 2 in the lineup. Really an everyday starter, a guy that's essential for the success of the Monarchs on a nightly basis.
Coaching staff always says if Joe Quito's healthy, he'll be in the lineup.
Yep. With reason. We see it day in and day out. Every little thing he does brings a lot of energy to the team. And he's a guy that we saw his triple off the wall yesterday, and the guys were begging for the ball to go over the wall. Benches would have cleared for sure.
At least one bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe not in a fight, but in a celebration.
Joe Quito will be the first Monarch to face Lucas Brewer, the latest pitcher for Muskegon. First pitch fastball outside. Quito fouls that one beyond the Clippers' dugout. Count even, 1-1. Bottom of the eighth, 8-8 is the score. Swing and a miss there from Quito. Muskegon tied it in the top half of the inning. And if this game continues as what we've had so far, the back and forth will turn right back to the Monarchs, as that one is flared into center field and will get by the center fielder Phillips. Going to third is Quito. He's on his horse, and he's in safely.
What a start to the inning by Joe Quito. We were hoping that ball would get down because he deserved it. Beautiful base running as well. He's got some wheels over there. A triple for Joe Quito. Great start. And how about this? Another RBI opportunity for the RBI leader in Tyler Nelson. I feel like he's always up when they have a chance to extend the lead. Great chance here for number 37. No surprise, the Muskegon is playing in, trying to cut this run short.
First pitch inside to Nelson. Already with 3 RBIs tonight, and all he needs to do is send it to the outfield for a fourth. That one is yanked foul down the third baseline, and you can tell Nelson would like to have that one back.
Oh, yeah. He was way on it. And his approach is to hit it hard and do a job, much like he's done all night. So a pitch that he sees, he really wants to capitalize on, and that was a pitch he liked. But same approach here as they set up outside.
Count moves to 3-1 on Nelson. We all know him as the team leader and one of the league leaders in RBIs, but we should also note that he's one of the team leaders in drawn walks as well. So a guy that knows how to perform in clutch situations, as well as a member of the team that knows how to be selective with his pitches as he selects that one and puts it in center field, and the Monarchs regain the lead.
Once again, the clutch hitter himself, Tyler Nelson, giving the Monarchs the lead at 9-8 in a hitter's duel. But Nelson really showing no fear when it matters. Got his hips through, his hands through. He does a really good job of barreling up the balls that he hits. He never really hits a weak ball. Everything's always sharp off the bat, and that particularly up the middle. Hot shot from Tyler Nelson. Well done.
Tyler Nelson with his 4th RBI tonight. With the first 3, it put him in 3rd in the entire league with RBIs, but now he's tied with the Jetbox outfielder at 25 RBIs. That's good for 2nd in the Great Lakes League. And now he's on the move. Hayden Yatzak fouls that one away. The Clippers infield thought they might have a chance at it.
Credit goes to Joe Quito, though, for starting everything off with a rope up the middle smart base running to put himself in scoring position. The Monarchs do a fantastic job of paying attention to the little details.
Brewer jams Yatzak there. Put it inside on the hands. Count 3-1. Check that 2-2. Still no outs, bottom of the 8th. Joe Quito got the party started with a triple that went past a diving Q Phillips in center field. Then Tyler Nelson collected his 4th RBI of the evening. Full count now on Yatzak. Monarchs retake the lead off of the Nelson single. 9-8 is the score. It's been a back-and-forth game all night. And here in the bottom of the 8th, no different. Nelson on the run, swing and a miss, strike him out, throw him out. No, sir. But down goes Hayden Yatzak for the first out. But another runner in scoring position for the Monarchs.
That's a big out there for Muskegon. Yatzak, one of the more dangerous batters in the lineup for the Monarchs. That was a crucial out. But Sam Bush now. Jake, we always talk about never having too much of a lead. You can never have too many runs. This would be a great opportunity for Sam Bush to come up big once again.
Bush has had himself a night, a single, a sac fly. He scored a run of his own after he was hit by a pitch. And a guy that has had increasingly mature at-bats as the season has progressed. As he belts that one into center field. But to the center fielder Phillips, Nelson looked like he was going to be on his way, but halted his progress.
Yeah. Hot shot, though, from Sam Bush. He's frustrated with himself. He knows he got unlucky there. The Monarchs have been unlucky in many of their at-bats, hitting the ball hard to numerous spots all around the field. But here we go. Henry Brown once again with 2 outs.
How is it that he's always up with 2 outs?
And a man in scoring position.
Just like last night in this same exact spot. Except it was Camden Coleman on the base paths. It was the bottom of the 8th, though.
With 2 outs and a man on second. Does he dare do it again?
That's well hit into right center field, but going over to his right is Smith for the 3rd out. We held our breath there for a second. Wasn't sure if it had the height, but that went a while. Either way, though, 9-8 is the score going to the top of the 9th. Monarchs retake the lead off of a Tyler Nelson single. And the Muskegon is down to its last 3 outs, Alex.
Jake, this all boils down to the fundamentals. Can you fill up the zone and at least give your defense a chance to support you on the mound? And Jalen Jones has been a little shaky so far, but we know his stuff. We know what he's capable of. And when he's on, he's one of the tougher pitchers to make any contact against. There's a reason why he was the number 2 pitcher coming out of the state of Georgia as class, arguably the best state for baseball. So he is a big-time player, and the Monarchs need him to be big-time here in a big-time situation.
Talked about his illustrious high school career. He was a 3-time preseason All-American by Perfect Game. Perfect Game, obviously a well-regarded scouting department. And you mentioned it, ranked number 2 among lefties in the state of Georgia and number 20 overall by Perfect Game.
Yeah, it really shows you why he's at a big school like Michigan. Now he's going to transfer, but with the resume that he has, it'll definitely be a big school because players like that only play at big-time schools. But nonetheless, big opportunity for Jalen Jones to show off what he's got once again and get the Monarchs out of here with a 9-8 W. Here we go. Heart of the lineup here for Muskegon.
It's 4-5-6, Nielsen, Anderson, Brennan. Brennan has had his fair share of struggles, but Nielsen and Anderson, a couple of all-stars, always the threat. First pitch, broken bat to Fitzharris for the first out.
Great start for Jalen Jones as the bat came flying his way. Life's a lot easier when you're up. One down, one up, one down. Great start for Jalen Jones.
Jacob Anderson, the Spartan, has been facing Wolverines all night. And in the top of the 9th is the same story. Count 1-0. Anderson, quiet for his standards this series here in Adrian. Pops that one up, shallow right field. Coming in is Longstaff for the second out.
Look what happens when you can fill up the zone and give your defense a shot. It changes the whole complexity of the game. And something so simple is so close to giving you a victory.
So we will have a pinch hitter. It's Augie Hutchison. Hutchison and Brennan have been coming in for each other late in games for appearances. Each of the games. Brennan got the start last night and tonight. It was Hutchison that started game 1. That is fouled deep into right field, out of play. Count 1-1. Jalen Jones working with 2 outs, looking to slam the door shut on a Monarchs sweep at home.
Oh, nice pitch. That was one of the best pitches tonight we've seen. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful off speed there from Jalen Jones. Final strike here.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Augie Hutchison, and the Monarchs have its second consecutive home sweep.
The boys are fired up as that's 8 out of the last 9. The Monarchs have won in an impressive win there. Down 5-0 earlier in the game to come back and get an 9-8 W. Really packs Muskegon. Oof, that's a tough punch. But the Monarchs in first place, and they deserve to be. What a W.
As after every win, the outfield comes soaring in. High fives all around. The Monarchs take this one 9-8. Continue to hold off the competition in the North Division. Jetbox Sandusky will have to wait for their turn at a chance at the North Division crown for now.
This shows you the grit that the Monarchs have. Down big, and it wasn't really looking good. But they had the guts to come back and piece together a solid late game rally. And the boys are happy, and they deserve to be.
Look at Camden Coleman showing off the dance moves. He didn't even play tonight, but he's celebrating like he did.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you got with the Michigan Monarchs, a team that is red hot. 8 of 9, 3 in a row. Only that one hiccup in the second half of the doubleheader against Jetbox. But we're even seeing fist pumps from different families of the Monarchs players here in the crowd on the campus of Siena Heights University. But Alex, a heartbreaker for Muskegon, and this game really tells the story of the series. This Monarchs all over Muskegon.
Yeah, it's tough to come back when you've lost 2 in a row in a series. And the Monarchs are going in one way, Muskegon's going in another. The Monarchs really have a goal. Muskegon doesn't really have a goal at this point in the season. They're kind of stuck in no man's land. But the Monarchs got one goal in mind, and that's to bring home that championship trophy. And they're playing like it. They're playing hungry. They're playing aggressive. And they're playing desperate baseball. But I mean that in a good way. They're desperate for wins. They want to do everything in their power to snag a W. And it shows really in every aspect of the game. Pitching was outstanding when it needed to be. It was clutch when it needed to be. Hitting came along when it needed to be. How about those 2-out rallies? When the pitchers needed to throw strikes, they did. The running was great. The fielding was great as always. Well coached. And the boys are ready.
The boys are hungry for more, and a big series it will be this weekend against Sandusky. First game of the 3-game set will be right here tomorrow night, Friday night, and then the boys will hit the road for 2 important games against Sandusky. But Alex, a couple themes to this game. Come from behind a few different times, fight and clutchness.
Absolutely. Talk about that. Keep talking about it. 5-0 they were down. 5-0. 8 runs and just 2 innings. And then in that 8th inning, they score a run. Beautiful baseball. These boys are hungry. I keep saying it over and over, but it's true. They are. They care. And that's not something you see all the time in summer ball. This is definitely a special squad.
Wrapping this one up, Monarchs move to 17-10. Muskegon drops another one, moves to 12-16. The North Division is just heating up, but as the competition gets tougher, the Monarchs keep performing at the top, doing what they need to do to hold off the rest of the North and to hold off a scouts team from Xenia in the South that is soaring at the right time, along with Hamilton, Cincinnati, and Licking County that are peaking at the right time of the season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The Monarchs know they needed to win, and they pulled it out, and that's what hungry baseball teams do.
Monarchs keep the lead in the North. They extend it against Muskegon on this Thursday night. That's 3 in a row, 8 out of 9 for the Michigan Monarchs. They take another one. 9-8 is your final. For Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorwitz. Thanks for being a part of this one. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night against Sandusky for an all-important game. We'll see you then.